Hello everyone, this is Omega-Envych, and today I decided to talk about something that I find rather amusing. I love video games, and one thing that how you control your video games. And yeah, so today I'm going to talk about gamepads. Yay! And I'll start from most cheapest and nasty ones and get up to actually good ones. I also talk about some other things, not just gamepads themselves, but things that actually have embedded controls. We'll see how it goes. And now the first monster of the week is this. It's called Bravis wireless gamepad or something. I don't know. It doesn't have any name outside of Bravis logo, and believe me, Bravis is not really a well-known name. It's a Chinese company that makes all kinds of shitty, cheap, asshole-ish pieces of crap. As you can see, it uses 4 AA batteries, and to get them out, you have to do this maneuver. Otherwise, they're pretty damn secured. However, if you ask me, okay, so why are you showing me this Envy and why you're not using the lid, is because, well, I've lost the lid. Yeah. This is how it is, and I'm not sure if I'm doing everything properly, but I guess you get the idea. Anyway, now I've talked about good things. How about the bad things? First of all, obviously 4 AA's, which is just an incredible amount. Shit. That's a lot of batteries, isn't it? Second is the gamepad itself. Now it has, you can see that it's PS2 compatible, so it has all necessary buttons, X, circle, square and triangle, by the way, it's not X, it's cross. Shoulder buttons, analog sticks that are actually clickable, and D-pad. And then there's select start and analog, and also turbo button. Now, the bad things. It doesn't have any rumble feature. It's quite unwieldy, and buttons are pretty terrible. D-pad in particularly is terrifying. Also, what's terrifying is the receiver. It's this big unwieldy piece of plastic on a long ass cord with 2 connectors. Wow. I don't know why the fuck this happened. I don't want, after this so big, I want something small. Like this one. Now this is a SteelSeries free gamepad made by SteelSeries, a producer of overpriced pieces of shit. And this is what it is. It costs around $35, and believe me, this is an overpriced piece of shit. First of all, it's really rattly. The good part, it has internal battery pack, which is rechargeable via micro USB. It's Bluetooth only, however, so it won't work with my main computer that is back there, but it will work with something like this, which is my tablet. It would be good if tablets and phones and, well, I don't know, like Apple computers actually had games that would utilize gamepad instead of controls. Also, the problem with the gamepad. There's only 2 shoulder buttons, and that's the problem. In games like Modern Combat, for example, they use lower, like trigger buttons for firing your weapons. This gamepad definitely doesn't have those. Also, select button is the same button to turn it on. Bad design, SteelSeries, because sometimes you may just want to hold select and then the gamepad will turn off. Also, buttons are really small, really cramped, and terrible, and D-pad is awful, and not all games actually recognize that this is a D-pad. They think that this is a D-pad, which is even worse. The good part, it's really small and has a soft touch coating on it. The bad part, soft touch, actually went a bit on nasty side and actually starts to be a bit on a sticky part. Yeah, I actually hate this piece of shit because it's rattly, it's annoying, it's small, I get head cramps all over the place because you have to hold it's two-handed and it doesn't have any holders for phone or something like it, so I cannot really use it with the phone. Next. And next we have this is a Logitech F310. Now this one is actually pretty interesting because this is actually a PC only gamepad, but it supports X input and direct input with this little switch. It also has full D-pad, which is actually way nicer than on these two beasts. It has analog sticks, all buttons, start, back, home button, clicky clicky. And this is what Logitech did wrong. Triggers are awful on this one. First of all, well, they are really badly designed and they don't feel right in any case and situation. I didn't find any situation when I would find these triggers actually comfortable to use. And second, they break really easily. They don't break completely, you still can use them, but the game will most likely think that you're still holding them slightly pressed even when you're completely releasing it. And this may happen because you press them a bit too strongly. And if you're playing like a racing game or a fighting game or something like that, immensely strong presses are about to happen. It's not like they might happen, they will happen. So basically these triggers, they will break really easily. Next, it's Logitech F710. It's basically the same as this one, instead of it uses the slightly nicer materials. Now, it's not all the plastic like this one. It's actually completely plasticky. This one has some rubber coating and had a soft touch coating. However, soft touch went completely apeshit and turned into really messy rubber goo that I hated, and I used knife to actually scrap it down and completely get rid of it. Now, it's once again, as I said, it's wireless, so it uses two AA batteries, two AA's instead of 4. It has a rumble feature, and this is the USB dongle for it. I think the comparison is pretty obvious. Now, the bad sides are exactly the same. Triggers are fucking terrible, and analog sticks aren't really the greatest. They are kinda meh. They lack of sensitivity, and yeah, I prefer concave thumbsticks, mostly because they actually less prone to this. But overall, it's not too bad. It actually has a nice rumble feature. However, there is a bad part. You see this? Well, basically, the problem is that if you use just it normally, after several situations when you just pull it up, you lower it down, and something like this, you may even throw it like you're really angry. What will happen? The batteries will slightly lose contact and they will go like this. So yeah, kind of too much space between this and this, and they are not held properly. So my solution is use a piece of paper like this and just cover it. Now batteries are held way better and they won't really go anywhere. Next we're gonna talk about something more interesting. Now then, no, I will hold the original materials, not the copies, to the last. And this is the next copy. As you can see, it's full Xbox 360 controller copy. No, not exact, and you will see how it's not exact copy. It also has the direct input X input switch. However, it's here and it's a bit more nasty than the one on Logitech. Well, I also don't like how the start and back button are made. However, the analog sticks are exactly the same as on Logitech, aside that they are concave, but they are really not all that precise. However, the gamepad itself is way nicer to hold because it actually copies the Xbox 360 form. Also, it has a bit of an extra grippy piece right here. It makes it a bit nicer to hold. And it has immensely nicer triggers, which are exact copies of something from Xbox, which is good. I will actually make a comparison. This is called Speedlink Xeox controller. D-pad is terrible and the rumble feature is broken. Basically, when you start the rumble part, it will keep rumbling unless another rumble force feedback is sent to this gamepad. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's really nasty and I don't feel really nice about it. And now let's talk about some of the originals. Xbox 360 controller, and obviously you understand why I've been talking about the copy. Just look, they look really similar. And I actually find that they're both are pretty nice. However, this one has a few advantages over this one. First of all, the cable is slightly longer, has that really nice feature when it can be detached easily, so it will not break your hardware in any case and situation. It also has one of a few really cool elements that actually, well, not many people will notice this, but when you're using copy for a long time, been using the copies, you will notice that instantly that these analog sticks are way more precise than these ones, like miles ahead. Also, it actually feels a bit heavier than this one. The form is ever so slightly different. D-pad on the original is slightly better, and you know how good it is. It's not really good at all, but it's passable, and here it's just tremendously horrible. Also, it has really soft bumpers, while on Xbox, also the face buttons are printed, and also start, back, and mode are printed. Here they are actually engraved, and the triggers, it's really important. Do you hear anything? I don't hear anything. I hear distinct squeakiness on this trigger, and it's the same trigger here. So yeah, this gamepad has a bit of a squeaky triggers, which is not the case for this one. And they actually feel a little bit nicer here. I also know that this gamepad will not turn into a gooey, sticky mess, because this one has soft touch coating. And I'm not really a fan of soft touch coating. Also, it has a rapid button, but it doesn't work. And obviously this doesn't have any mechanical problems. Like, it's it's an Xbox controller. What did you expect? Also, this one costs exactly 60% of a price, 66% of a price of this one. I bet you better pay a bit more and get just nicer version. By the way, F310 costs exactly the same as this one. They are on the same price range. And this is even more expensive than this one. I think they are on the same price range here, or somewhat the same. I think your choice is pretty simple. Get one of these, not these. But hey, let's talk about something else. I also have this. Yeah, you notice this is PSP. Now I just want to say that it actually holds pretty well after many years, and as a controller itself, even considering that this is not just a controller but the whole console, it's not as bad as many people actually trying to say. Of course, it's not as comfortable to use as this one, but it's miles better than something like this one. Have you ever played Game Boy Advance games? With these? Shit. Yeah. This is where we go into really uncomfortable. Sadly, I don't have charger for this. The charger that I have broke, and I have to find another one. The charger for this one, however, works pretty well. And actually should have some juice in it. Yeah. Not really caring. So yeah, it's pretty nice. It actually has really nice screen, despite this is used PSP 3000. But buttons are actually nice, and this is I bought used, so it already had a bit of overpressed buttons, so there are problems, but overall the build quality is still nice. And the actual buttons are actually pretty good. And this one, this piece is actually not as terrible as people may find. So that's that. I guess this is all that I wanted really to show. And just make a simple solution. Don't buy anything that is off-brand. Buy the original things. They often might be not as expensive as they seem, because yeah, they feel nicer, they actually don't have any mechanical problems, and you just, well, you save a bit more time. Also, they all work pretty much perfectly well. By the way, Logitech controllers are detected, even in X input, they are detected as their own things. However, this one is detected as this one. So it's basically as 360 controller. Well, this one obviously is detected as 360 and actually shows the number it is of the gamepad slot it's on. This one doesn't have that, it just shows the red circle. And I guess that's it. I hope this was at least slightly entertaining. Now, Envy, signing out.